I remember a time when people used to give secretly, because they knew that whatever you do in secret, God will reward you in public. And that's how I was raised. I was raised like that by my grandmother and my mother. They were true givers. And so that was passed down to me. And even though my mom and my grandmother possibly sometimes didn't have much, they didn't mind because they just had a giving heart. And they didn't do it for any other reason than that. And what I loved about my grandmother used to do, she would, and you wouldn't even have to ask her for nothing half the time. You come and visit her, and sometimes she'll see you and she'll just ball some money up and put it in your hand. And even if it was a room full of people, the other people wouldn't be able to tell what she was doing, because she did that in secret. She didn't want to shame the other person. She didn't want to put the other person on blast. She didn't want to tell others that she was giving to this person. She just did it out of the kindness of her heart. That's just the kind of beautiful woman she was, and her name was Alberta Morning. And I so miss her. And my mother, she grew up believing those types of things as well, and she was a giver as well. My mother, Doris Myers, and both of these beautiful women are no longer with us, but it's because of my ancestors or the people before me that's made me into the woman that I am. So I don't regret any of that, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I'm bringing up this topic. I'm so sorry for the people that don't know who I am. My name is Marion, and I'm with Restoring Ghettos Forgotten. And my channel is always meant to uplift, empower, and encourage our culture to a higher state of being, to a higher state of knowledge, and to possibly provoke some type of positive change in our minds so that we can ultimately change our lives. So that's what this channel is about. I don't have a lot of followers because I don't come on here and gossip and do all the backbiting and all that, all the mess, talk about all the stars and all the stuff that's in the world. I don't do that. I simply do that. It's because I'm an individual that is very ambitious towards humanity, especially towards people that grew up in almost impossible situations, to encourage them that they can and they will overcome. But first of all, they have to start to learn how to deprogram all the negative thoughts that we've been programmed with, and to release, to learn how to get rid of the toxic traits that we carry all the way from childhood. So that's what this channel is simply about. It's not for no other reason. It's not for me to get any notoriety, nothing like that. This is simply because God told me to tell my story, and I do that through my life experiences and telling my testimony. So that's what it's about. But I thought it was important that I bring up this topic, because what I can't stand the most is when I see people that are in privilege to give, and they have it to give. That's it. They have it to give. They have it to give, and then they go out and they help the homeless, and they go out and they help people that are poor. They don't have food, and the kids may be in need, and they go out and they put all of this out on video, and they take all these pictures and they post them pictures. Let me ask you a question here. What if you were a person and you made over 6 figures, and you've been successful for almost all your life, and due to no reason of your own or no fault of your own, you lost everything? You lost every single thing. And for whatever reason, even if you were the type of person that helped everybody around you, for whatever reason, the time came to where you needed them and you couldn't rely on anyone. Because this is true. This can happen, and it happens to people all the time. So then when they lose everything and they're forced out and they're homeless and they have nobody to depend on, eventually you're not going to be this gleamy person that you've looked like to people your whole life. You're not going to be able to have a suit while you're homeless. You're going to look a little dirty and dingy. You may not be clean. You may not have had a haircut or your hair done, and you just don't look like the person that everybody knows. What happens if you were ever put in that situation and somebody had to help you, and they put it all over social media, or they told everybody, hey, I seen that person is homeless now, that person looks like this, or how would that make you feel? I want to bring it home because I think sometimes we're so privileged, or we think we are, that we can't relate to the people that are in need in this world, and it's a travesty. Because I love the way my pastor acknowledges how he always says, All of us are going to go through it. We're going to go through something one day in our lives. And if we haven't went through anything such as traumatic as losing everything and being homeless or getting sick, it's going to be something that we may be faced with. So he always say, never think you're above someone, because if you haven't been in those situations, keep living. You don't know what type of tragedy that could face you, to test you in times of trials and tribulations. So be real careful how you put other people out there that may be going through a time of disaster or need or loss of a family member or whatever it is that's traumatic for them, that's caused their whole life to be in shambles or caused them to have to rebuild. I mean, even when you go through divorces, you have to rebuild, because you have things that you've collected together over the years, and things need to be separated, and then things may still need to be separated and reconciled, and so that you may have to rebuild your credit. There's a rebuilding period in divorce. Divorce is traumatic. It's not a good thing to go through. So you have people that's going through different life situations, whether it be divorce, whether it be loss of a family member, whether it be loss of a job, whether it be loss of your health. Something may come into your life that causes you to need other people. And wouldn't it be a travesty if the people that you relied on and that you needed would throw it back up in your face, or would post it on social media, or make everybody aware of what you're going through? I think that would be a travesty. And I'm saying all that because that's just not who I think God is calling us to be. This is for all the people that believe, and this is for the people that don't believe. My message is for everybody. Everybody can possibly get something from my messages that I deliver, from my life experiences, from my heart. And so, yes, I'm going to continue to be that ambitious person that wants all of humanity to survive and thrive by helping each other out and becoming a better community than we are. Because we really are one. It doesn't matter if you have so much over here when half of your community is in lack, when half of your community is without. It doesn't matter that you may be way over here, but you're still a collective. Our culture is a collective. And so we need to make a conscious collective effort to help one another. And if you're not going to help them, don't talk about them. Don't put them on blast. Don't hurt them. Because you don't know what they have to get up and do in the morning just to make it through the day. So don't do that. It's certain ways that we can help other people without hurting them. Because some people, they've worked hard their whole lives, and I talk about these executives or whatever and this didn't happen that long ago, where they lost their jobs and they lost everything. And so you have this person that has some people weren't just handed stuff. Some people actually built what they had. They worked hard and they built it, and they worked hard and they lost everything. But because of the fact that they had a great work ethic and they don't want to depend on nobody or nothing, then it's going to hit them a lot harder when they have to come back up. And the last thing they need to do is to be discouraged by somebody because they put them on blast, or they showed a picture of them giving to that person, or they said, oh, I seen this. They don't need that. So if you're that type of giver, just don't give, because it's for nothing. It's for nothing if you got to hurt somebody else just to give to them. And this is not going to be a long message, but I just wanted to point that out. And it's so amazing. But going back to my grandmother and my mother, they taught me and my family how to give because of how they gave. And even in their lack, they gave. So it's no excuse not to give to other people that are in need. But they gave, and so they taught us how to give. They taught me how to give. And a lot of people, they give off of things they don't want anymore, things they want to discard and throw away, they have no use for it. It's not really any good anymore. So that's how some people give. I don't give like that. Anybody that know me know that I give my best all the time. I may have just purchased something that I may have never worn, or I've worn a couple times, and it don't necessarily have to be a cheap item. It's my best. I give it to somebody and they're like, you giving me this? Yes, of course I'm giving it to you, because I like to give my best. I don't like giving scraps. And it amazes me that some people can give you scraps and still want to blast it. Like, you gave that person something that you hadn't worn in over 50 years or 25 years, and you thought that was enough to go and tell somebody else about it. That's ridiculous. But I give my best, and I don't mind giving my best, because if I feel like if God has blessed me, he's blessed me to bless others. And a lot of time people take advantage of givers, and they call you gullible, or they call you naive. But it's nothing gullible or naive about doing what God is commanding us to do, and that's to love our neighbors, and that's to give to our neighbors. It's even a scripture in the Bible that I can't remember right now, where it says, if somebody comes to you in need, don't turn them away for tomorrow. Don't make them wait. If they need it and you have it, you give it to them right then. So I just wanted to put this out there, because I see a lot of that going on, and it hurts me to see. And even when I see it being done on social media, how the people's faces look like, they look devastated. They look like, I thought these people really cared. I thought these people were helping me. They're not helping me. They're doing this for their plight. They're doing this to get notoriety. They're doing this for whatever reason. And so it just cheapens the gift, and it makes it mean nothing. It just invalidates everything you've done. It doesn't mean anything, because you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart and just being genuine. So I hope this makes sense, because I think that we as a culture of people, and I don't necessarily want to say race of people, because I have people looking at my channel that are not African American, that are not people of color. But as a culture of people, I think that we could help more people, and I think we could do better as a culture if we would start putting ourselves in those people's shoes. Like, if I pass somebody homeless, I say a prayer for them, or I say, Lord, please bless them to get a job, or please bless whatever mental disability or whatever that's hindering them from moving forward. Bless them to be able to get beyond that. I don't just look at them and cast them aside and say they're losers. I don't do that. And I don't think none of us should do that, because we never know what we're going to be faced with one day. We never know. You could be a millionaire, billionaire, and then get a debilitating disease, and then none of that money can heal you. So what is it all for if we don't have love in our hearts? God commands us to love each other. You can't truly love somebody if you're always trying to belittle them and put them down, and put so much race into it, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there, because it's so important that we love each other, and that we invest our time and energy in giving people, and not having to put everything on blast for notoriety. And that's the end of my message. It was short and sweet. So I just wanted to encourage you guys on today. Like, if you've ever experienced it, if you haven't experienced this, kudos to you. You haven't experienced any hardship or loss to where you've had to be at the mercy of others, or you've had to enlist some type of help. And if you haven't, then that's a blessing. But for the people that has endured hardship, especially throughout last year, I know a lot of us went through high inflation, and our businesses changed, and things were up and down and up and down. If you're one of those people that are trying to recover, I wish to encourage you today. I wish you to first of all, put God first in everything, because then he's going to work all of those things out, and everything will start to come back together. But also be proactive about how you position yourself. If you have been through some type of traumatic injury, or divorce, or loss of a loved one, or loss of a job, and you're reestablishing yourself, always think very systematic. Try to think more systematic, and you might have to be just do a little bit more planning, but position yourself so that you can get into a space to where you can make it easier for you. Because the last thing you need to do is to get ill trying to put so many things together all at once. You have to do one thing at a time. So take it one step at a time, and also be compassionate for yourself. Speak kind to yourself. Give yourself a little grace. I mean, because things happen. God hasn't forgotten about you simply because you're going through your life's tragedies or situations. Sometimes it's meant to develop us. It's meant to purge us of things we no longer need. Sometimes we need to start over. Sometimes we need a new beginning. So it's not always an ending. And this is meant to encourage the people that has lost some things and don't feel their best. I'm just here to tell you to stay the course and trust in God and continue to do right by people. I don't care what nobody say. even if you don't believe in the same things that I believe in, whatever you put out in the world, you will get back. Put love, kindness, give to others. You're going to get all that back. Maybe not by the people that you're giving it to, but it'll come back, because that's universal. Even if you don't believe in Christianity or whatever, being a Muslim or whatever, if you got to know that whatever energy you put out, put good out in the world. I try to tell my children, I don't care what you're going through, always try to put good energy out in the world, because you got to know if you put bad energy out, it's going to come back to you. So we can try to be a better people. I think this is going to be a phenomenal year for people, but I also think it's going to be a purging of some things. And we're going to be able to see. So it's best for us to prepare now. Start positioning yourself now. For the people that's not taking what's going on in the political arena, you're not taking that seriously, you better take it seriously. Because all of this has already been planned for centuries. I mean, even when I was growing up in school, they already said that they were going to try to do away with the middle class. There were going to be the rich and the poor. No in between. And that's what these high elites are trying to do. So you better plan ahead. And all the governmental stuff that people are getting, you better plan ahead, because they could take it within a blink of an eye. And so this is me encouraging us not to get in fear, but to plan ahead, put some things back, make some cuts, rearrange your life if you have to, but do not sleep. Wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, you guys. We got planes falling from the sky. They're trying to make us scared to travel. They're trying to keep us in our current situations. All of this has been planned. So it's time for us to wake up. But I say it all starts at home first. It all starts with us as a community, to figure out that there is something maliciously going on, and we need to be awakened. Stop entertaining yourself so much. And another thing, stop eating so badly. When I do have the time to scroll social media, I see people eating so horrendously, and I'm like, that's gonna catch up to you. Baby, stop doing it. Oh, don't do that. Like, our cultural foods they're killing us. Like, we got to eat better, we got to eat healthier, we got to take care of our bodies, we got to exercise, we have to do our spiritual work and our mental work. All of these things are going to matter when it comes time for us to fight for our rights, to have gainful employment, to have safe spaces for our kids to live, great schools. They're trying to take away all that. They have schools that have to shut down, even in the Houston area, for the people that are not living here where I live in Texas. They're trying to plan on cutting these schools out. We got to prep. We got to get ready for this. We might need to do more homeschooling. But for all the wealthy people out there that can create schools, just like LeBron James, like, come on now, your community needs you, because they're trying to take all these benefits, these governmental benefits, away from your people that need you. And not everybody that's on governmental benefits is a loser or lazy. Some people actually work very hard and try. And so I just wanted to say that let's stop being so entertained, and let's start preparing for what maybe is coming towards us, because it's very loud. And if you haven't heard it, you need to wake the hell up. So I'm done. I just wanted to put this video out, because I think that we are definitely, many of us, not all of us, but many of us are asleep. Many of us are very selfish. Many of us are thinking that just because we're doing okay alone, that it doesn't matter about the collective, and that's a damn lie, because we are all in this together. You think they're going to separate you because you may be close to being a 1%er? You're still who you are. We're still a collective. Let's help each other. We can get out of this situation, but we can't just think about ourselves. We have to think about the people that are around us and how well we all can do together if we work together as a community. I'm done. Thank you guys for listening to this. I hope that it resonates with the people that decides to click on my channel and watch this reel. I hope it can bless somebody that needed to hear this message of encouragement. And I hope maybe it'll even strike a different way of thinking for somebody that that does take pictures, or that does put people on blast that may have needed for you to do something totally opposite. And always remember that God, whatever you do in private for others, God will reward you in public. It happens all the time. So you don't need to fake notoriety. You don't need to fake get whatever it is you wish to get. Just be authentic and be genuine and be natural, and all those things that God has lined up for you, you will eventually get to. But sometimes it requires us to grow, because he may have something amazing waiting on you, absolutely amazing, but you're not in a place to receive it, because you have to purge all of those erroneous things that we were taught and all the propaganda that was put inside of us. We have to purge those things so that we can actually hear clearly from God on which way he would have us go. I'm done, you guys. Remember, I love you guys. I don't do this for my health. I don't do this for any other reason. I do this because I genuinely love my people. I love our culture. I think we can be a better culture. I think that we can get beyond even the most worst situations. Ask me. I got a tattoo on my back that say I'm a living, breathing testimony. So I'll put that on my back, but I believe that. And because God has given me a testimony, I have to tell it. Like, I have to, because I figure if I help one person, I've done my job. I'm a small portion of the scheme of things, but I don't care. As long as I am being used, I don't care. So I love you guys. Remember, I love you guys. Remember to love yourself, love God, and love others. And if you don't wish to love others, at least don't hurt them. Bye-bye. Love you guys.